All these people
Really?
love getting those big money bags for not having to do anything really, except be stressed for 3 to 4 months straight.
Yeah, I mean, Schwartz is doing the second part, a second, let's hit LA with Jax tour. And they're now doing they're on the city winery tour. They're
Yeah.
coming to New York. They're
Yep.
so, you're not, look, I think that puts money in your pocket, but you're
Yeah.
not doing that when you're busy. You're doing that to make money.
Yeah.
I
D-
venture to say everyone's coming back if they're invited, except maybe Ariana, which I'm not even so sure. Do you think Ariana would come back?
I right now, this moment, I would say no. But Love Island's gonna end. Maybe the SoFi ads will dry up as well. But depending on what comes next, I think presents and I think that's mainly why we haven't heard much about Vanderpump, because they need Ariana's decision to make a plan. And if she's in Fiji, she's not talking to people about this. My feeling. But speaking of that bar crawl, I talked about this on my podcast, but did you know Jax DM'd me to potentially host the first bar crawl?
I did
And I got it.
not.
I have to tell you this story. It's so funny.
Please do tell me the story. So, like, for everyone who doesn't know, like, there was this bar crawl in LA. I'm in not in LA now. I'm in the New York area, but right, like, it was him and Schwartz, and I think it was like VIP tickets were like 300, 400, something like that. And
Yeah.
you went to like Tom, and you went literally exactly what you think, which I don't know why no one has thought of this before. A shocker, you end at Jax's bar, but there are surprise guests, like we had Nax and maybe, Brittany and Dodie,
Yeah.
but so for everyone, I'm sure it must have sold well because they're doing a second one, but tell me how this all played out.
So here's the other funny part about it. Like, that crawl happened during like the valley, right? Like, or shortly after. Like, all of these people that they want to see, Jack Schwartz, like, pick a day and you can show up to one of these bars and you'll be able to see them, right? Anyway, it's like a week before, 2 weeks before the crawl was going to happen. And I was at Jax's Studio City watching the finale, or one of the episodes of the Valley. Anyway, and I tagged Jax's Studio City. I said, we're doing this thing here. And I get a DM that's like, hey, we're looking for someone to potentially host the bar crawl, asking if I'd be interested. And I was like, well, I would definitely be interested, or I know someone who would. That sounds fun. Here's my contact information. Let me know what's up. And immediately it followed with, but I heard you've been speaking negatively of me on your podcast. So maybe we'll go another direction. And I was like, did he have that like already copied and like just ready to paste when I answered him? Because that was too fast to type out after my response. And I thought about it and I was like, yeah, that's probably what he's doing. He's probably sending this message to a bunch of people, then sending, I heard you talked negatively about me, and then waiting for someone to be like, no, I love you, Jax. I love you. Please, I'm sorry I ever said anything bad. Please let me host your bar crawl. And that's funny in itself, right? I told him, I was like, hey, I've been negative for sure because you've done negative things, but you're not unique in that, Jax. Like, if someone's negative on a show, I'm going to talk about it. He didn't respond. And then 1 week later, this is 1 week before the bar crawl now, he sends me the exact same message. Hey, we're thinking about having someone. And but this time it was like broken up. And like, if I were guessing or betting man, it would be that he might have been drunk and forgot he already messaged me.
So, like, do you think he really wanted, or do you think this was his backhanded passive aggressive way to threaten you of saying, like, say nice things now?
I think that it was more passive aggressive, trying to get me to say nice things because good things happen when people are nice. And I've never been overtly that mean to Jax. Jax can do some trashy things, but I'm not out here in the comment section about the guy. I'm just recapping a television show, you know?
I am so confused by this whole community of people. I mean, I don't know about you. I am blocked by mean, not a gazillion people, but I'm blocked by a lot of people. The thing about being blocked is you never know when you're blocked. So then when you're
Yeah.
blocked, you have to go back. And normally I could say, well, in my mind, I think this is why or that's why, but it never makes sense. Like
No.
Teresa Giudice right now. I mean, I've said some pretty horrible things about her husband. Not blocked, not blocked. And then Reza Farhan, who I might have said one thing about once, blocked on both accounts. It makes no sense to me. So, I mean, are you blocked by people? And by the way, I don't regret, like, I feel this podcast has gone through a series of events, but I have to say, like, I say this all the time, my like allegiance is to this audience. Like, I will
Mm-hmm.
not pull back. I will never. I am friends with some random, like I'm friends with Luann because she lives right near me in the Hamptons. And
Mm-hmm.
but I am fine not being friends with any of you. I'm fine not hosting anything. It's so much easier. I will never, I won't. And listen, I've had run-ins where I'll go to a party and there someone is and they'll confront
Sure.
me. It is what it is. I mean, thank you.
Yeah.
This is a compliment to you, Rob.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, there's been a couple of times I feel like I've flown too close to the sun, hanging out with Peter and like going to barbecues and just being like, oh man, am I like now wanting like these people to like me? And like that doesn't matter. And I see that a lot in fan communities too. To answer your question, Jax did not block me, and as far as I know, not even a blip on half the people's radar online. But I do witness in a fan community this idea that like some of these Instagram accounts want to be friends with these people. And you have to say, like, these people are not your friends. They're not your friends. If they agree to do your podcast, that doesn't mean you're buddies with them. That now you and I, of course, long friends. We've been doing this for like 20 minutes now. But I would say like you probably understand that too. Like there's probably that level, that threshold you have to get past as a content creator, where the allure of someone you're talking about now is talking to you, and that means they get you. And I totally, it took a minute, but I realized like, no, like if friends are made in friendship ways, not through content creation.
Totally. And I think personally, that to me, from what I've witnessed, is the problem with most, not just the web pages, but the Bravo
Yeah.
podcasters too. They want to be friends with these people. They are fans. They're doing a job, but there is this kind of kissing up. And to your point, yes, like when I first started this, like I was that, and I needed
Hey,
that as I grew
fair.
this. But I think now my audience tunes in. Like for instance, like I just used Luann as an example. There's no kissing up. I mean,
Yeah.
Luann will text me and be like, "Do you want to go to dinner tonight?" And I'll say, "I'm actually exhausted. No, thank you." That's an actual friendship. That's not like
Yes.
let me run over like a, but it's an organic
Yes.
short. So I agree with you. I was that person in the beginning. And so that's
So
why,
was I.
but
So was
right.
I.
And
Yeah.
but I agree with you. These are not your friends. They will never be your friends
Mm-hmm.
other than this organic thing, which happens. It's just they sure will be nice to you and dangle a bone, but
Yeah.
all Bravo has to do is say, Vanderpump Robs, stay away from that podcast. And like
Yep.
Sheena will say, I know I said you were my best friend. We're never going to speak again. That's not
Yep.
a friend.
Yep. Exactly.